Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Prajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira
ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्यामा कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरापुरी धाम की जय। मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। श्याम वेद भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees. All glory to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Kristaya Gurumale Srimate Bhakti स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे. So we started now reading chapter 5 entitled Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. So this is very important topic actually because Nishkam Karma Yoga, this is about Nishkam Karma Yoga and from Nishkam Karma Yoga people can elevate to the Bhakti Yoga actually, and so this is working with not getting attached to the results of work. So I will read the text number 7 3 times and then you can please recite it. Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma Vijayatma Jitendriya Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvan api na lipyate Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma Vijayatma Jitendriya Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvan api na lipyate Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma Vijayatma Jitendriya Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvan api na lipyate. Recite.
Yoga Yukta Vishuddhatma Vijitatma Jitendriya Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma लभते
पूर्वानपि न लिप्यते
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा
विजयात्मा
जितेन्द्रियः सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा
पूर्वानपि न लिप्यते
पूर्वानपि न लिप्यते
Anyone else?
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा
भूतात्मा जितेन्द्रियः
विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः
सर्वभूतात्मा
सर्वभूतात्मा
कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते
कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा
योगयुक्तो
विशुद्धात्मा
विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः
विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः
सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा
सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा
कुर्वन् अपि न लिप्यते
कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा
भूतात्मा जितेन्द्रियः
विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः
सर्वभूतात्मा
सर्वभूतात्मा
भूतात्मा
कुर्वानपि न लिप्यते
कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते
Word to word translation. Yoga Yukta, engaged in devotional service. Vishuddhatma, a purified soul. Vijayatma, self-controlled. Jitendriya, having controlled senses. Sarvabhuta, to all living entities. Atma Bhutatma, compassionate. Kurvanapi, although engaged in work. Na, never. Lipyate is not entangled. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Purport. One who is on the path of liberation by Krishna consciousness is very dear to everyone, every living being, and every living being is dear to him. This is due to his Krishna consciousness. Such a person cannot think of any living being as separate from Krishna. Just as leaves and branches, his senses are also controlled. Because his mind is already fixed on Krishna, there is no chance of being deviated from Krishna. Nor is there a chance that he will engage his senses in matters other than service of the Lord. He does not like to hear anything except topics relating to Krishna. He does not like to eat anything which is not offered to Krishna, and he does not wish to go anywhere if Krishna is not involved. Therefore, his senses are controlled. A man of controlled senses cannot be offensive to anyone. One may ask, why then was Arjuna offensive in the battle to others? Was not he in Krishna consciousness? Arjuna was only superficially offensive because, as has already been explained in the second chapter, all the assembled persons on the battlefield would continue to live individually as the soul cannot be slain. So spiritually, no one was killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Only their dresses were changed by order of Krishna, who was personally present. Therefore, Arjuna, while fighting on the battle of Kurukshetra, was not really fighting at all. He was simply carrying out the orders of Krishna in full consciousness. Such a person is never entangled in reaction of work. Om Agyanti Grandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Shannavadi Paschatya Eshatari. So this is very important shloka actually, that how we can perform actually act in Krishna consciousness without having attachment to results of work. Because everybody in this material world has to work. Because without working, what we will do otherwise. We have to work, but we have to work not taking so much care of the thinking about the results and thinking that I will enjoy the results. So that is most important thing. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Bhagavad Gita actually. And so we are continuing the fifth chapter. Fifth chapter is entitled Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness, how to do action. So we also read in the third chapter. What is the title of third chapter?
Karma Yoga
also. But then we read fourth chapter. Fourth chapter is transcendental knowledge. So when we use the Karma Yoga and use the transcendental knowledge, and then we act accordingly using that transcendental knowledge, then work is Nishkam Karma Yoga. And by that, we can perfect our life that way. And second chapter actually, if you see second chapter, which is the, what is the second chapter? Title? Content of Gita summarized. So in the second chapter actually, it gives the preliminary knowledge about our soul actually, and how it gets entangled in material things, with the three modes of material nature. And then it also gives some knowledge about the Buddhi Yoga. And so using that knowledge actually we can get out of this entanglement. So chapter 3 describes Karma Yoga, chapter 4 describes about transcendental knowledge. So when we perform our activity using this transcendental knowledge, it is about the Nishkam Karma Yoga, which we are reading in this chapter actually, chapter number 5. So this also, so in the beginning, like in third chapter we read verse number 1. There was a question Arjuna was asking, what is better, renunciation or acting, actively doing karma. So actually doing karma is better than renunciation actually, because if you renounce, and then not work at all, then you will get really bored, So we can see the example of Janak Maharaj actually. He also worked, he did not work. Also Lord Krishna, you see whole life in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, how much he worked, and so working is not bad as long as we don't think about the results. So in this chapter actually, Krishna is answering the question, how much actually, like how to work in detail, he showed how to work in Krishna consciousness actually without seeing the results, paying attention on the results. So also in the 6th chapter, if we see, then Krishna says in the 6th chapter, verse number 46, Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna, that Arjun, you become the yogi. So actually if we see, because to become yogi, because this whole Bhagavad Gita, if you see there is yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, buddhi yoga, and like Ashtanga yoga, then bhakti yoga. So there are so many yogas actually. So we have to be yogi, in yoga actually. So, but yoga word nowadays we see, how much gymnastic people do just for the body, to live longer and all those things, but living longer and making more and more sins, there is no use. If you have Krishna consciousness and live more, that's fine, but otherwise getting activity outside, Krishna consciousness, which no fun actually, it's degrading actually, we are getting more and more sins. So actually that Krishna is saying that Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna, that Arjuna becomes the yogi. So what is actually yogi? So there are so many misconceptions about yogi. So I will not say what is yogi, but I will say what yogi is not actually. If you see a person, who is merely performing the physical exercises, like many Babas, just do physical exercise. You see how many, even there is World Yoga Day. We see so many places, there's World Yoga Day going on, and on that day everybody does exercise even on the roads and everything, people get together, so doing exercise for body, that's fine, but it doesn't give any transcendental benefit actually. So, for good health, for having just physical exercise, he's not a perfect yogi. Yogi is transcendental actually. He's not simply one. If you see the guy, with the matted hair, long beard, and he's sitting nicely in a austere place in the Himalayas, But actually, a yogi's duty is to just go and preach actually, village to village, town to town. That's his duty, not sitting in Himalaya, because then he's selfish, he's just thinking about himself, how to get out of this one world. But he's not thinking about other jiva souls, So that's not a yogi actually. Also, he's not a man with just extraordinary siddhis, powers. Like sometimes they say powder comes, kumkum comes, some gold coin comes, some money comes, So this is just magic tricks, They got some kind of siddhis, but he's not a yogi, this kind of people. So if you see this kind of people, they actually can know that these are the bogus people and they are not real people, real yogis. And also when we see yoga means real people, real yogis. And also when we see yoga means remembering the Lord, reuniting with the Lord. To reunite or to link with Krishna, that's yoga actually. Yoga is not this gymnastic yogas. And also it is link of love or link of service, like doing the devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So this is the yoga actually, this is the real yoga. So when we say karma yoga, it is the doing service to the Lord. Or whatever we work, we give all results to Krishna, whatever is left over, after our minimum needs of our family, we should offer it to Lord. So that is the real karma. So the Supreme Lord and Jiva soul actually are constantly and eternally they are linked, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So we are eternally linked with Krishna actually, and in a bond of love. And so we have to reciprocate with Krishna because he is so merciful. He is giving us everything, oxygen. We know in the Corona time, people were worried about where the oxygen tank will come, and there was so much scarcity of oxygen, So oxygen, Lord is giving us free, water is free, everything is supplying free. He's doing so much rain, and that's why all the grains, are grown and everything. So we get everything from Krishna, and in the reciprocation, we are not giving anything, so that's not good. So we should actually reciprocate with Krishna. So we are constantly in touch with Krishna. We should be constantly in touch with Krishna. And because what happened, as soon as we were in mother's womb, we remembered everything, and we were thinking that as soon as I was born, I will remember Krishna, I will serve him, But as soon as we come in this material world, once we breathe and we start crying, at first breathe, then we come under the effect of three modes of material nature. And in those modes, we just try to forget about Krishna, and that's what happens to most of the jiva souls actually. Some people who have done some pious activity in the past, so that they will continue, but most of the time, we get so much entangled with these three modes of material nature that it's very hard to even remember Krishna. And in this material world, actually, we all are looking for happiness. We earn the money, if you ask anybody why you are earning so much money, what is the need? And he will say, I want to buy more, bigger house, bigger car. So everybody wants to enjoy this way, But that's not the real aim of life, actually. And so we have to work in the mode of detachment. So if you have detachment, then actually it is good. And so this is the art of performing the karma yoga. So this whole chapter shows what is the art of performing the karma yoga. So that's what is given in the 5th chapter. So in this material world, actually there are 6 kind of people, which is described in Bhagavad Gita. So I'll just go briefly with them. One is the lawbreakers, which breaks the law. So they are actually two-legged animals, like, because they don't have any kind of trained, to think, I should follow the laws, or and other people are law binders, which follow the law. So law binders comes in the different category, like karmis. So karmis are two kinds, sakam karmis and nishkam karmis. So sakam karmis, like they are karma kandis, and nishkam karmis are the devotees. And then there is Jnanis, Ashtanga yogis and Bhakti yogis. So one is lawbreaker, one is sakam karmi, third one is nishkam karmi, and Jnana yogi, that's fourth, and then Ashtanga yogi, which is fifth, and Bhakti yogi, they are six. So these are six kind of people. So we have six broad category of human beings. So let me just describe them a little bit about them. So actually, the first kind are actually considered two-legged animals because they are just not following any rules or regulations, not having any belief in Krishna or any book or anything. And second kind, who is the karma kandis at least have somewhat on the human platform. And then other four, nishkam karma yogis, jnana yogis, and ashtanga yogis and bhakti yogis, they are a kind of yogis, and they are kind of devotees also, and they can progress more further. So lawbreakers have no belief in the God, rebirth or karma, and goal of their life is to enjoy the material sense gratification. And they work hard and hard for that. And karma kandis actually they are better because they at least have some belief in the Veda. It comes niskam. Sometimes we feel so miserable all the time because we are thinking on bodily platform actually. If we think upon a spiritual platform, we should feel happiness all the time actually. We should be energetic, enthusiastic to work. But we think so many negative things actually. That's why we are not happy in this material world. So we should think that this present body actually given by the mercy of Krishna actually. So we should use it for the devotional service for the Lord Krishna. And we should never worry about the different bodily things, that this is going on. These problems in the material body is full of problems, miseries actually. So we should not keep remembering those miseries, Think about higher things